What's up, PokerBEASTs? Kato here, and today we're playing cards. It's been a long time, and I have missed you guys. I've missed these vlogs so much. They bring me such happiness, but, you know, I was just kind of stuck in a rut. But today we're in a 2-5 game, $700 buy-in. The first hand I pick up is King-Queen offsuit under the gun. Usually when I sit down at a table, I try to get a feel for the table, for the players. I play a little tighter. Not this time. I opened to 15. Guns blazing. The cutoff makes the call. The big blind defends. 47 in the pot. We go to a flop. 5-8-4, nothing there for me, not even a single backdoor draw. I'm looking pretty dicey unless I hit a king or a queen, so I decided to check it. The cutoff shuffles chips between his hands before deciding to go for the check as well. The turn is the ace of clubs. Now this is a card I can make some moves on. A lot of ace-x is definitely in my under the gun opening range. I'm going to take advantage of this with 4 reds in the middle of the pot. The cutoff quickly decides to fold. The big blind, I imagine, would have bet on the turn if he had an ace, and he doesn't. He makes the fold as well, so I'm scooping a small pot up to 732 in my stack. The next hand I pick up is Jack-King of diamonds in the big blind. Definitely a 3-bet candidate. I don't want to play multi-way out of position against the table. The hijack is the first to put in a bet, makes it 15. Folds around to the small blind. The small blind throws in 2 more reds, saying, I'm going to defend my small blind. And I just decided to defend my big blind. Don't go for the raise, although with this stack size, the pre-flop chart says 75% a raise. Maybe it's because I'm at the 2-5 game, a little bit nervous. The flop comes out ace, queen, 9. I have a 10 for the gut shot, but that's about it. And the small blind decides to donk out for 15, doesn't care what the hijack wants to do. For only $15 more, I can chase what could give me a big payoff, and so I make the call. The hijack isn't going anywhere, but he's not raising either. Exactly what I want to see. He throws in 15, and we head to the turn, looking for a 4-outer, looking to spike the 10, but no, it's a jack. Of course, it gives me a pair, but it's not a very good pair on this board. And the small blind is continuing to fire, throws out $60. It's only $150 in the pot. I just don't have the odds whatsoever to make this call. I'd be lighting money on fire, so I toss my cards into the muck, and we're heading on to the next hand. Okay, real quick, I'm sure I'm late to the party, and this is not like a club advertisement or anything. I don't make any money. The only thing I get for referring you is a few tickets into these events. You get the exact same thing, free tickets into the events. But for $50 a month on GG Poker app, you can basically free roll into a bunch of these WSOP events. They just have literally everything. I actually got 2 away from the $1,500 bounty ticket. Still upset about that. Check it out. I'm just going to try to get a seat for the main event and then delete the app after the end of the series. Download it again next year. The next hand I get is pocket 9s in the hijack, 717 to my stack. The under the gun player is limp. The middle position player makes it 20. I'm definitely going to call the 20. Mining for a set, but the low jack is having none of it. Throws in a big bet, $110, and I'm just not going to risk a 7th of my stack on this hand. Toss it away. Let's see what the run out is. Nope, no 9 there. I can sleep peacefully tonight. I mean, who doesn't sweat their folded pocket pairs? I know I do. Pocket 7s, under the gun, 717, still in my stack. I'm going to open the action here and make it 15. The cutoff makes the call. The big blind defends, 3-way action to the flop, 47 in the pot, and it comes out 5, 10, 4. No 7 on the board for me. 1 overcard, some clubs, some connectivity. I'm going to go ahead and protect my hand, make a bet, charge the draws. I make it 20, and both the cutoff and the big blind make the call. I guess I'm not getting through to anyone here. We're going to a turn, looking to spike a 7, looking to pick up maybe a 6 for a draw, but it comes a 9. It's not fun to give up initiative on a pot, but multi-way like this, I think I have good showdown value. I don't have any draw equity. There are a lot of draws out there. I could bet to protect, but I think in this situation, it's just best to check. Keep it chill, don't inflate this pot, and try to get the showdown. Action checks around, and the river pairs the board with another 9. Luckily, no draws were completed. When the cutoff checked on the last street, I can assume he doesn't have a 10. And now that the big blind checks, I assume he doesn't have a 10 either. Trying to get to showdown, and to showdown, I do get. The player to my right says he has nothing. I flip up my 7s, and the cutoff tosses his hand away as well. 7s are going to scoop it. I'm shoveling some chips my way. And the very next hand in the big blind, I pick up ace 8 of clubs, 789 in my stack. Action folds around to the low jack, who takes a peek at his cards, decides he wants to put some reds in, throws in 20. The hijack makes the call. The cutoff gets out of the way. Now it's onto the button. The small blind folds out of turn. The button makes the call. No one seemed particularly interested to put in a 3-bet. All I have to get through is the original better, and so I do what I learned from the player to my right a few hands ago. I throw out $115. If I can get through this original aggressor, surely I'll take down the pot, but he's not going anywhere quick, and he seems to be pretty interested. The other two players that just flat called behind are probably flat calling with way too wide of a range, so I'm sure going to get past them. Luckily, he folds, and like bank robbers running away from a bank, the rest of the players flee the pot, scooping an uncontested $67. Ace-5 of clubs, Ace-4 of clubs would have been better candidates because of the straight potential, but Ace-8 is going to do it, dragging the chips my way. Throw a little love to the dealer, and we're on to the next hand. Will you please take a second and drop a like on this video? It really goes a long way to helping the algorithm. The dealer pitches me a card. I look down at Jack-9 of clubs, under the gun. I decide I'm going to open this one up. It may be a little bit outside of the range. I decide to check it, and it is just right outside of an opening range from the under the gun position. Makes sense. The player in seat 7 hasn't forgotten that I 3-bet him to 115. He's going to come back at me with the same poison, makes it 45. I have to say my 3-bet had a little bit more pizzazz. Seat 8 makes the call, drops in 45. The button gives his hand back to the dealer. The blinds skedaddle out of there as well. I'm getting a great price to call, but I can see myself getting into a lot of trouble on a lot of flops, out of position with his hand, so I just toss it away, wait to fight another day, and that day has come. King, Queen of hearts. But the winds change quickly when a 3-bet hits the felt. The player in seat 1 puts $75 in. I just decide to fold my hand away, and the player in seat 8 makes the call. They get all in on the flop. The player in seat 1 has pocket queens, and the player in seat 8 called $75 pre-flop with 4-6 of diamonds, hit the straight on the flop. I did flop the flush draw with 2 overs. I would have committed a lot of money to this pot, and just like that, queens go down in flames. God, you gotta love poker. And they say poker's dead. I scoop a small pot with Queen 10, pick up Ace-Jack offsuit and drag another one, and then I pick up Jack 10 offsuit. In the big blind, 873 in my stack. It folds around at the cutoff. A very good player. He makes it 20. Action folds to me. The small blind gets out of the way. I'm feeling a little loosey-goosey. I make the call, playing this out of position, looking for a straight or a straight draw, maybe 2 pair, maybe 3 tens. Let's see what the dealer has in store. He burns, he turns 3, king, queen, open-ended, baby. Just what I put my chips in the pot to see. Of course, I'm going to check it over the cutoff. And he throws in 25 real quick. I match it with the green. We go to the turn, and it's the ace of hearts. An angel has landed. The most beautiful card I could have seen, sitting with the nuts. I check it to him, and he bets 50, keeping the pot small. I need to get some more chips in there. Of course, check raising looks sketchy, but it could also look like a bluff. I go for 150, very reasonable, not too big, not too small, just right. 6 greens. The play is on you, Jersey boy. He's shuffling his chips, but not going anywhere. Puts in the extra 100, and I'm licking my lips, looking for a clean river. It's the deuce of spades, as clean as it gets. And now I'm just wondering how, excuse me, sir, we're in the middle of a hand. Now I'm just wondering how much money can I get out of him. I'm not going to check to him. I go and grab my stack of greens. Is 325 enough? I think it's going to be perfect. Surely if he calls 150, he can make a call on the river for $350 into a $722 pot. Since this guy is a really good player, he's probably comparing the amount of bluffs I have versus the amount of made hands I have. My made hands are pocket 3s, pocket kings, pocket queens, pocket aces, ace king, ace queen, a straight with jack 10, and my only bluffs are king queen through king 9 of hearts, maybe 4-5 of hearts. So there's more value hands in my range than bluffs. And I hear what I do not want to hear whatsoever. That's right, he said this is such a nitty fold. Oh my goodness, he's got something strong, and he's sniffed it out. He's read me like a book. He confidently takes his card protector off and flips up ace-king suited, top 2 pair, tosses it into the muck. Great play. Wish I was playing against anyone else because I definitely would have picked that pot up. I can't believe it. I'm actually kind of shook. It really took me out of my element. I thought about just getting up and leaving. I had to take like a 10-minute break. I just couldn't believe that he made that fold, but when you think about it, it kind of makes sense. All right, these guys are going to want to know why you folded top 2 pair to me.
So after the check raise on the turn, I didn't think you'd be check raising king queen there after the ace came in. So I put your range on either ace queen, set of 3s, set of queens, or jack 10 for the straight. And against that range, I thought I was behind.
Well, I had jack 10. Good fold.
Thanks.
God damn it. This is actually such a simple and powerful trick. Count up all the hands that he'd be bluffing with, count up all the hands that he'd be going for value with. Are there way more of one or the other? If there's way more value hands, maybe you should fold. If there's way more bluffs, maybe you should call. And also factor in the size of the pot and the bet that you have to call. Ace 4 of spades in the hijack. The under the gun player calls, the middle position player calls. I'll go ahead and bump it up to 20. We get back to the big blind. This guy and I have been going back and forth at it, and he's going to come at me one more time. Probably nothing personal. Probably has a good hand since he's 3-betting out of the blinds. He 4Xs it, 80 to go. The big blind quickly gets out of the way. Everyone else thinks for a little while, but they seek shelter in the saloon to let the gunfighters have their standoff in the streets. He's telling me his range is better than mine. My position is better than his. I would typically probably fold this, but I'm still pumped up from hitting on that last hand, and so I decided to make the call. Actually, according to the pre-flop charts for the stack depths, it is a call. I'm sure not 100% of the time, though. The dealer rolls over 3, 6, 10, no spades. I do have very small potential for a backdoor straight. I have my ace, but I can't stand up to any bet, and he does bet. Makes it 80, sticking with his pre-flop sizing. And of course, I kind of have to play it off, heave and haw, but there's nothing I can do except for grab my cards and pass them back to the dealer. Summer is here, and it's time to reward yourself with a piece of pirate's treasure from the sea. Wikipedia says that pirates used to use this little thingamajig to protect their cards at the pirate SOP. Yeah, that's all bullshit. Get one anyways, they look sick. Back to the poker, the dealer tosses me a card. I look down, King 10 of hearts. The under the gun player limps, tosses in a red. I'm of course going to raise it up. I decide 20 is a good bet to go. The player to my left grabs 20 chips, holds them in his hand, looks at them. This is one of the winningest players at this 2-5 game. An older gentleman, super smart, but he has a lot of tricks, and this is one of them. He throws in 100 instead, and he wanted me to see that, for me to think that he was going to be calling, and then, no, I'm going to raise. So I obviously get out of there, and he ended up showing pocket aces. His game is really interesting. He also is able to really pot control hands he wants to with like really subtle movements on, you know, his face, his hands, his body, his shoulders. It's fascinating. 894 in my stack. The dealer releases one off the top of the deck right into my hand. Pocket nines on the button. And I slowly and surely have been putting pocket nines in my 3-bet range when in position, especially if it leads to a good squeeze. That is what seems to be happening here. Seat 7 has put in 20. Seat 8 has called. We get around to the player on my right who tosses in 20. And once again, $67 worth of dead money in the pot. I'm going to go for the squeeze. Try to at least get heads up in position. Navigate from there. And I make it 115. Almost deja vu. He asked for the exact amount. 115 to go. Let's see if he'll put it in this time. Nope, he tosses it away. He tosses it away. And it shows you that he might be opening from an early position a little bit too wide. Not being able to defend these 3-bets. And once again, it's hard for these back callers to make the call. Neither of them do. They both toss their hand into the muck. And that's more free money for me. Pulling in a bunch of chips, uncontested. Feels great. 961 in my stack. My mind's still a little twerked. I'm still a little bugged about that guy folding his top 2 against me. Kind of gets in my head. So I just decide, you know what? It's time to rack up, book a win, take these chips to the cage, and turn them into cold, hard cash. In for 700, out for 931 for a profit of $231. Thank you so much for watching. Kato out.